Okay, so this is a very short YouTube video to help the extended diploma students log on to their Moodle and to start contributing. Okay, so I'm going to start on my desktop and I'm going to load up my Internet Explorer. Now I'm using Mozilla Firefox, which is this thing over here, although you might want to use Internet Explorer, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. And what's the first thing I'm going to type in? Well, I'm going to type in Leeds Art Moodle. Make sure you write Moodle and not model. Okay, and it's usually the first site that comes up to it. Now the long address is there. Okay, portal.leeds-art.ac.uk/Moodle. So you could type that into the address bar if you wanted to, but I just use Google. It's just as good. And I'm going to click on it. Okay, I'm going to take these off. You were provided with a username. Now that username is your student number. Now this is written onto your Leeds College of Art card. The password, this will be the password that you entered first time that you logged into the computers in the IT suite. This password is the same for Moodle as it is for every time you want to log into a computer on campus. Okay, now if you're struggling to log on, you can ask for some help, and you can just click on this little thing here, and if you enter in your long number, say LB12345, and then you enter in your email address, somebody will send you details on how to reset your password, but I don't need to do that because I know what mine is. So I'm going to type in my username, TobyJ, and I'm going to type in my password, and I'm going to log in, and this is what I see. Okay, and I see lots and lots and lots of courses. Of course, what I'm really interested in are the further education courses, which are all the way down here. Okay, so here's further education courses. Now, the course that I'm particularly interested in is contextual studies, and that's what I'm going to show you how to use today. So once I've found further education courses, I'll scroll down. I'm going to click on contextual studies. I'm going to make sure that you see what you see. Okay. And this is what it will look like. Okay, for those of you who've used Moodle before, you're probably familiar with this interface. For those of you who aren't, have a little look around and have a look at what you can do on it. Okay, so on here you'll see Extended Diploma 1 Art and Design unit information, and on here we'll be posting copies of the brief. Okay, should you use them or you want to refer to them, and what you can do is you can download it and you can view it. So if you just click on it, it will hopefully open up, depending on how good your Wi-Fi is. Okay, and you can have a look at the brief. Okay, now this is last year's brief, so you can ignore that for a second. Okay, the new brief will be up there by the time you access it. If you wanted to save it or print it out, you can print it out there, or you can save it onto your desktop. Okay, just for further information. Okay, so there we've got the brief. What we'll also be doing is we'll be posting up all of the week's lectures on here. Now, at the moment, we've just got week 1 lecture. Now, if you wanted to have a look at the lecture again, because there was a bit of information that you didn't quite manage to get down, or there's an image you wanted to get access to, you can just simply click on it, and you can choose to open it or save it. Now, I'm just going to open it today, but you can save it onto your desktop or onto a USB or onto your hard disk, wherever you like. But I'm just going to open it today, so I'm just going to open it. Now, some of them are quite large, so some of them might take a little bit of time to download, so please be patient with it. Once you've saved it, you can start altering it, you can print it out, you can use some of the images which you might like to use, etc. However, I'm just going to open it today. So as I say, this introductory lecture is quite large, so you might have to be a little bit patient with it. Right, how many Mississippis is this now? This must be at least 10 Mississippis. Okay, we're nearly there. Okay, so this is week 1's lecture. Okay, so I won't take you through this because you've already seen this. But this will just show you that if there's any information that you missed that you needed to put into your contextual diary, it'll more than likely be on the Moodle immediately after the session. Okay, so I can save it, I can print it out, and I can look at it whenever I like. Okay. But let's go back to the Moodle. Each week we'll be asking you to respond to one of the images that we're going to show you in the lecture. Okay, and we're going to ask you to post that response onto our blog. The reason for this being is so that everybody else can see what everybody else is doing, and so that the tutors can then respond to you straight away. Okay, so I'm going to post a description and my interpretation of one of the images shown from the lecture. And under each lecture, each week, there'll be a little face-to-face icon, and this is what we call a forum or a blog. If I click on this, I will see the instruction, for instance, post your descriptions and interpretations of the William Frith painting we looked at in the lecture. And I am going to add a new discussion topic. I'm going to put down Toby's interpretation. Now what I can do is I can type immediately into it, this is my response. But what I like to do is I often like to type it separately onto a Word document. That way it's a little bit safer. So here is my William Frith blog, blah, blah, blah. I can then select it. So you can either select it by using the cursor, or you can press Control Alt and Control S. Oh, sorry, not Control S, Control C, and you'll copy it, and you can then paste it onto here. Okay, so I have written my. Okay, so I'm going to add an image. Now there's a couple of ways of doing this. If you know where an image exists online, okay, you might want to post a stable URL. Okay, this is rather complicated, okay, because URLs often change, okay. So what I'm going to be doing is, instead of doing this, I'm going to add an attachment. At the bottom of the blog, there's a little space here for you to add an attachment. Note, of course, that there's a maximum size of 500 kilobytes, which isn't a lot, but it will be it's sufficient for most images. I'm going to browse, and on my desktop, I've created a little folder called Images, and onto that, I've added an image that I want to add to my blog. So I'm going to open that image, okay, and I'm going to post it to the forum. Now, depending on the size of this, it will take long. That didn't take all that long, so that's good. So what I can do now is I can look at the blog, okay. This is a blog about William Frith, blah, 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 etc. And I can edit it. If I'm the one who produced it, I can edit it, I can delete it. I can also, if it's somebody else's blog, reply to it. And if I wanted to reply to it, I just click on reply and I say, thanks, Toby, that's really interesting. Okay, and then I click on post to forum. Okay, so immediately we've got a couple of blogs. Okay, so let's go back to the forum, let's go back to the main page. So immediately you'll see for the first week we've got the Introduction to Contextual Studies lecture. We've also got a bit of a blog, so you can edit this at any time throughout the week, okay, but it would be really good if you could do it straight away so that we can start responding to it. You can look at other people's discussions and you can add things, okay, you can respond to them, whatever you think really works, okay. We'll be asking you to do this every week. If there are any problems, just let us know in the lecture or in the small group tutorials, and we'll try and sort them out. Okay, I hope this has been some help. Okay.